Now, I'm going to switch gears from portraits to talking about plein air.
Yes.
So give me a little background and history on your plein air painting.
Around the time that I was reinvesting in my education and taking workshops, and this was like in the mid-2000s, I was introduced to plein air painting. It was something that I knew I would want to be doing. I had never painted a lot of landscapes, not just looking at a model in the studio or a still life in the studio, but the landscape outside, under the sun, under the changing light conditions. So it was in the mid-2000s that I started to go outside with local painters who paint outdoors on a regular basis. And, again, a whole new world opened up to me. So, and I can show you some examples. We may have to switch cameras.
I think we can do that.
I can show you some examples of some work that I've done, not unlike this, where I've done some sketches, but with the plein air work, and how we'll translate that into a studio painting.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were talking about plein air work, and often what I will do is here's an example. Here's a small sketch that I did on location. This was a 6x8 canvas, little canvas panel I did down in Churchill. And working small when you're outside, I think, is imperative because the lighting conditions are changing so quickly, and you really need to be able to knock out your impression of the light, the colors you're seeing as effectively and as quickly as you can, because that impression that you have that's drawing you to the scene, it ain't going to be there long. I mean, it's going to shift. So this study, I had it under my belt about a week or so, and I looked at it and I thought, I'd love to see that larger scale. So what you're seeing right here was all done here in the studio, and it's in process. It's not finished, but boy, did this inform the colors that you're seeing developing here. The photograph was not nearly as vibrant.
Yeah, the blues aren't as blue, the greens aren't as green,
No,
the yellows aren't as yellow.
Absolutely, and so, having this little sketch, albeit rough, these little color notes can really, really help me understand. The photograph can help me with some of the details, that some of the, the drawing that I didn't get to are details, but the color notes, the broad color notes, really inform what I do in the studio, and that was certainly the case with the figurative work that I use as an example too. I love working figures into scenes. I've got a figure scene going up there, an outdoor scene, and the figures that I have incorporated into that scene were inspired by something that I saw, but it is imagined. It's an imagined scene. I would like to, perhaps with a model, explore the idea of somebody, walking on the sidewalk, somebody riding a bike. I mean, I might literally take a model to this location at this time of day, and either do a quick sketch or at least take photos of various gestures around the scene in this lighting, so I can more convincingly work a figure into the painting. A couple years ago, I did this painting, and I did it, from this window over here up the parking lot. This summer, when I was coming to and from the studio, I would notice people working on it. One morning, I pulled up, and there were guys climbing up ladders and working on the roof of this new garage. There were two guys. I got out my camera. I'm sitting in my car, rolled down the window, and I took some videos of them in action around the scene. Now, there were two guys to begin with, only two guys. I decided that I would use the different gestures that I was filming and photographing and come up with a scene that I could incorporate, a multi-figure composition. I, here in the studio, decided where I was going to put them based on that.
It's great.
And
it really
so,
is.
yeah,
I
thank
love
you.
the piece.
Yeah, thanks. And that's in progress, but it's definitely coming along. It's a lot of trial and error, and I would rough out, just maybe draw a stick figure. I mean, literally, just something super simple, and say, do I like something, a figure there or not? And without putting a lot of time into it, if I didn't like it, I'd wipe it out, and move it over a couple inches. And so, I had this guy like further down the ladder, I had him up on the ladder, and I finally decided that this is, where I wanted him. So,
well, the positioning is perfect because it makes your eye go around the canvas. mean, it makes you either start here, go over to the truck, go up to the guys that are on the roof and come back down.
Well,
So it really is effective.
yeah, ultimately, you know, I don't think that sort of thing through until after I see it. And then I realize, oh, I'm leading your eye around. So I really trust my gut as to what feels like a good composition. And generally that translates to exactly what you just said. I mean, I think our visual instinct will often guides us to do what is essentially the right thing.
Well, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your afternoon
Yeah,
with
yeah.
us for a little bit and giving us some background, giving us some insight of behind the paintings and your life as a painter in
Yeah,
Richmond.
thank you.
So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Jenni.
you, thank you, thank you. This was good.
Yeah, thank you. This is great.